Hi,
Hello.
everybody.
I remember you said Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's my first movie.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Hey, we love you, by the way. I mean, I gotta tell you that you master quiet performances better than anybody else. You just know how to come on the screen and you deliver a performance that's quiet, but it always leaves the biggest impression. And I don't know if it's something that you've been really purposeful about doing, but it's just something that I love when I see your work.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like trying to have the right thoughts and internal life. When all that's going on, then you should. Hopefully, an audience can be able to feel what I'm thinking and what's going on inside. That's all I do. Just figure out what I feel and what I think.
I love it.
What was it like working on your first Marvel movie?
It was exciting. When we did I remember when we were at Wakanda Falls, it was Warrior Falls. It's so overwhelming because it felt like these 100-foot waterfalls falling down around us, and this pool of water, and we're bringing him out of the ship, and it's just massive. It's a very powerful experience. But then when I did with Chad inside, I really got to get inside the emotional heart of it too. So it's more complete than a lot of other experiences in some ways.
I know that you traced your African ancestry roots to Ghana. Did knowing that where your roots came from, did that influence your portrayal of your character at all?
Well, Igbo and Akan, yeah.
Yes.
And I guess it did. I didn't fashion it, although the Jabari tribe, like him, they're like an Igbo tribe, but I didn't fashion him around those two tribes. I fashioned him around different spiritual leaders and different ways of trying to get the moral fiber for the community, because he's the spiritual leader of Wakanda, and so just trying to understand that from different perspectives and stuff. Yeah.
Your character is such an integral part of the plot twist. Did you know that going into it, and how did you react to this when you first read it?
I knew because when I read the script, I knew. I mean, when Ryan first gave it to me, they wouldn't allow me to look at the script. They just were talking about the character. So I didn't really know the twist then. I didn't know about what would happen, back in the U.S. and that I'd be responsible for, sort of tragic events, but yeah, afterwards, yeah, I did.
Did you see this happening? I know when I looked at Black Panther, I couldn't have.
What did your shirt say?
Oh, it says Wakanda forever.
Oh, really?
It's like
My whole wardrobe is Wakanda everything. But did you see this happening? Because when I look at the film and when I look at all of the work by the actors and actresses, I could have never dreamt this. Is this something that you ever saw maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or is this completely mind-blowing for you as well?
I think that the expression of it, I didn't imagine it exactly, but I think I imagined it having this kind of magnitude. I think I imagined it that way, not just from the comic book, but when Ryan said he was going to do it. And I had a relationship with Ryan before, and so I knew him as a filmmaker and as an artist, and I thought that something really special was going to happen. I didn't know what exactly, but I definitely knew something special was going to happen.
I've watched you over the years, and I think of you as being legendary. And so I always wonder, from film to film, is there a superstitious, is there a ritual? How do you prepare yourself to go into character? Because you always have this smoothness about you, no matter what film that you're in or what role you're playing.
I guess, I'm always trying to do all the research. It's kind of similar. I do the research and I start to study the different people and the things that they do, and meet different people and get different voices worked on, and then slowly it just comes together. I don't know if there's a magic formula. At some point, I could say the magic formula for me is at some point I just surrender. I just say, okay, this is your space, and let's make it happen, do it. And I believe. And that's kind of the magic formula I want to have. Yeah.
What was it like, I guess, off camera working with the rest of the cast? I guess in my mind, I kind of picture you as the leader, as a spiritual leader amongst everyone.
It was actually Taper in Wakanda Falls was really interesting because they were playing music and the drummers continued to play a lot between the takes. People would start singing and stuff, and so it was like a real communal experience. Even when we weren't working, the guy would start leading them in songs, and Bari would come out, and it was it's unlike any other, I think. Yeah.
So this was very different than working on many of the other films that you've been on?
Yeah, it was complete. I mean, I just finished the film, was kind of about the KKK, and I was just, and it was a true story, and I was doing all my research and learning about what I needed to know to play this preacher. I studied being a preacher. I was studying to understand how to express myself. I can't compare the two experiences. One was like him, this guy trying to like protect his family in the South, and like having to deal with this Klansman that he brings into his home, and so that becomes like a very tight community. Every experience is really different. Every movie that I do most of the time is different, and then when it starts to get too similar, then I know that there's something wrong. And if I can't feel a little fear about it, I don't feel like I'm going to change or grow from it, then it's something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it, And then I have to examine the reasons why, whether it's life or, what I mean, whatever I might do, reasons could be.
They always seem to put you in like serious roles. Is there a role that you would like can play, like comedy, that you haven't done yet?
Oh, I don't know.
You know,
I like comedy though. Yeah, I do like comedy. What was it the other day? Somebody was saying, when I was working on Empire, I had these comedic scenes and stuff, and a couple of them. And so they were like, "Oh, you can do comedy." But I've done a couple of comedy movies. I mean, I did a long time ago, like when I did Rage in Harlem and stuff like that.
I watched that before I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Could you have seen yourself in any other role in this movie?
That's what I just.
We couldn't hear you.
No, but like for this particular
For
film.
this
For this movie?
Yeah. No, I think Ryan cast me, right?
Yeah.
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 If you had to choose one scene in the film that was the most impactful or powerful for you, what would it be?
Oh, it's hard. It's really hard because I love some of the stuff with the. I think it's really interesting. Like, it just made me think. When Killmonger is dying, because Killmonger is like represents like a lot of youth who like put in bad situations and like it forms them. He could have been a king, but instead he's like fallen, and he's there and he's talking about incarceration, and he says, I'd rather die than be incarcerated and to take away all my freedom. And I think there's something, I don't know, and it makes me get emotional even thinking about it right now. It's really,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What were your thoughts after watching the film last night?
There was like I was blown away by the film. I mean, I guess I don't know if I expected all the humor and all the emotion and all the messages. So I was still trying to process it. I realized that I need to go see the movie a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. From
What messages do you hope viewers will take away from seeing this film?
I mean, I think the one that he ended the film on too, which is like that we are our brother's keepers. That we have to, even in our own comfort, be able to reach out and help those and help others. Is important. One tribe, I think, is important. I think the message of female empowerment, just both physically and mentally, and just the power that expresses. And I think this message too, like I say about Killmonger, about our youth and how we're molded by our environments and how we have to step in to try to move those things forward. I think, there's other messages too, colonialism, and, all those kinds of things, finding your own voice, empowerment, because I think the movie deals with empowerment, and, particularly for people of color, but for everyone. And this is a lot of messages in the movie, so, those are some of them. Yeah.
The movie has a lot of young, upcoming actors and actresses in the film. Did you find yourself mentoring anyone in particular, or giving any type of particular advice?
I think Andy and Letitia had a strong relationship, but I wasn't there very long. I was working on two other movies, one before and one after, and I just kind of got to come in quickly and do my work, and then I left. So I didn't get a chance to spend real time. You know, I probably was there the shortest period of anyone. You know, yeah.
Did you visit Atlanta?
Oh yeah, I had went around it. I had been in it. I was doing a movie there. We had shot the one I was talking about, Burden, down there, and I shot another one called Saving Steve McQueen down there. And I was down there a long time. I just wasn't always on this movie, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was there a long time.
That's where I live, so I was wondering, because
right.
I know it was shot in Atlanta. So did you have a chance to go visit the city and do anything while you was in town?
I visited, I guess, a little bit. Not really. When I'm working, I don't really visit much. I just focus in on.
And stuff? No.
I didn't actually go to any restaurants, or
Oh, okay.
I think maybe I went to one. I don't know. I just kind of live like a hermit when I'm working.
We have time for one last question. Don't be shy.
What's next for you? What can we expect in the future?
Well, I have a few films coming out, so I think I'm going to let them come out. I'm going to let Burden come out, which we just talked about. I just produced one we just had at Sundance called Sorry to Bother You. I think when we see that come out. I did this movie about Desmond Tutu that I played Desmond Tutu. I can't wait for it to come out. You know, and of course I'm waiting for this one to come out, and then Saving Steve McQueen. So I think I just like need to sit still for a second.
Yeah, you've been quite busy.
Yeah.
You working?
Yeah. It's a great pleasure. You know,
Yes,
to
thank you so much. You were amazing.